Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Danielle Putnam. I'm the president of the New Flat Rate, and with me is my friend Matthew Bratsis. Matthew, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Matthew. I'm the vice president of EGIA Contractor Services, which is our Optimus payment solution tool that we are excited to be partnered up with the New Flat Rate. And Danielle, as usual, love being on your show. Thank you for inviting me. Love our conversations. I'm excited about this chat we're going to have.
Yeah, same. Me too. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining me today. We were supposed to have a very special guest, a contracting member that's been using the New Flat Rate and Optimus integration. And unfortunately, our special guest was not able to join us, but I did get some good feedback from him, which I will share. And also, we'll see if we can get a quick little video to text out to everybody later as well from him, just sharing his experience and what's working well. Because I know that we all like to hear from other contractors what's working, what's not, and how we're navigating, because there's a lot of change going on always. I could say right now, but I mean, come on, Matthew.
When is there not?
Every year it'd say something. And so we're always navigating something. And I heard somebody say this week, they're like, well, business is just building the parachute on the way down, right? Or business is building the engine while you're driving down the interstate. And so I like that. I'm not the only one that feels like that sometimes. Everything's always changing, and we've got to be willing and ready to build on the fly. So yeah, go ahead, everybody. Go ahead and say hi in the chat. Anything that you want to ask directly to Matthew or I or each other, please do so while we're spending a few minutes here together. And love to hear where you guys are from. Mike Matheny, good to see you. Thanks for joining us from Ohio. And welcome, Calhoun, Georgia. That's right. Bratsis, where are you calling from today?
I am from Southern California. I am sitting here from there you go, NorCal. I'm San Diego. And it is probably hotter in San Diego right now. We've got a heat wave. It's probably hotter. I keep hearing around the country how everybody's got these 70 and 80 degree weather. And I'm normally laughing at them. But right now I'm in close to 100. So I'm not laughing.
It's a little hot for you.
Yeah. Yes. For somebody as thin-skinned as I am, I will cop to that. There's no question. Big Ten now.
Hang on. Let me share my slide here. There we go. Okay. All right. In the Big Ten now, where's that? Oh. Temperature. I got you. Wait a minute. Is that new hiking territory? I was thinking it was like 10 peaks. Anyway, all right, back to topic. We're here to talk about summer success stories and what's been going on out there with you guys out in the field, especially with the economy and the market right now, and how are people spending their money, their resources, how are they buying with you today? And that's why it's so exciting that Matthew's here with us. As some of you, maybe not everybody know, the New Flat Rate and Optimus did a full API integration a year ago, maybe, or January. Remind me, January.
January. It feels like a year ago, but it's,
yeah,
it's a solid 8 or 9 months ago.
Yeah, and so it's a great time for us to come back together to talk about what is working and what's not. And so our contractor friend who was going to join us today, the thing that he wanted to make sure that I shared was that using the Optimus integration with the New Flat Rate, which is offering, well, I'm not going to say it because you're going to come back and say it. But what I'm going to say, let me just, I love that Matt's just
say what you got to say. Say what you got to say. Just blurt it out. Get it out.
So I'm not going to say the word, but what I am going to say is using this integration has been great for credit challenged customers because there's waterfall options. And so when the contractor goes and tries to get a customer some options for financing, is the F word that I'm not supposed to say.
No, yes, you are not supposed to say it. We're not using the F word. So I appreciate that, Danielle, very much. But I do want to talk about this because I think this is one of the trends we're seeing that's really impactful. But I'll let you finish doing your thing before we start getting into this.
Well, that the reason that this integration is so important is because those credit challenged customers, especially on new installations and full system replacements, this is the opportunity that is working for them. So there's waterfall financing happening. And so if they have challenged credit, we're able to find somebody that can help them to provide the funding that they need. And so since we're no longer using the F word, this is a great segue for Matthew to go ahead and tell us why.
Okay, so first off, we don't use the F word because quite honestly, nobody wants to to speak financing, right? When from a contractor standpoint, they hear finance and they think, oh, I've got to be an expert in investments. I got to be like a banker. I got to know numbers. I got to be good with math. I got to be good with rates. I got to be able to discuss rates. And you don't have to discuss that, right? And from a customer standpoint, Danielle, do you ever like financing anything?
I hate it.
Now, I know you'll take your monthly payment, and we live on monthly payments and subscriptions. But when I bring a term to you that says finance, you immediately feel like you're getting in debt. I'm telling you, it has words have a meaning. And I know you and I have talked about all kinds of things about words having meanings, but words have meanings. And what we're really trying to make contractors and make our partners understand is that it's not about that F word. It's about giving everybody access to money so that they can live the life they want to live. That's all it's about. We need to stop thinking that you need to know, become an expert in rates and you got to be an expert in plans. No, what you need is to be able to give everybody access to money so that they can live the life they want, because everybody wants to live a better life. Everybody wants, no matter what their castle looks like, it's their castle. They want to make it better. They want to make it more comfortable. So that's the important thing. Now, I do, and I don't want to control the conversation, but you brought up something that I think we want to touch on, which is how Optimus, and we've looked at this contractor stats, and they are probably increasing their business 20, 25, maybe even more percent because of those credit challenge customers. And that's a big, big thing that is a growing segment inside the US population that people need to be aware of. Now, I'm sure you're going to ask me why.
Why?
because even though the prices of everything has gone up 3, 4, 5 times, it used to be in the HVAC world, you could sell a whole system installed for $5,000, right? We used to see a lot of those $4,000 or $5,000 tickets. You can't even buy the system for $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
So now what has happened to that price? That price has gone from $4,000 or $5,000 to $10,000, $12,000, $14,000. But has people's salaries increased at the same level? Are people
not
making
that
the
much?
same amount of it? No,
not we're lucky to get a 3% inflation raise a year, right?
Right. You're lucky to get a 3%. Now, here's the thing. 4 years ago, rates were historically low. Interest rates were zero. Money was flowing in from governments or from the states, and there was all these. It was just a great time to buy. And there was this new thing where people were staying home, and it was a great time. Now, all of a sudden, rates have gone up significantly. They've gone up 6, 7%. A mortgage, I've locked my mortgage in at 2.25 to whatever it was. I'm not moving off of that. If I bought a new house now, it's what? Almost 7.5?
Yes.
Right? In the past, this is important. Our second and our third look, the near prime, those people with credit challenge, were getting interest rates of 24, 29%. And everybody was like, oh my God, that's brutal. That's brutal. That's brutal. Because rates were zero. Now, even the best customers are getting 9 and 10% and 11%. And those credit challenge customers are still getting 24, 29%. Their rates haven't changed. That is still that program is still the same. So now when you're presenting these second and these third look to customers, there's not the blowback you were getting before where people were going, people are just like, yeah, rates are up. Right? They're going to keep buying it. So now we're seeing a real big uptick in people seeing those lease to own or those higher, like because they've got lower credit scores, those higher rates, and they're not bulky. They're again, they're living based on a monthly payment, and we live in a subscription world, so they're just trucking. And Optimus is probably the only program out there that actually delivers those second and thirds. But those second and thirds are gold for your special guest that didn't show up today. But like, didn't show up because I'm saying he's building more jobs right now based on those second and third look customers.
Yeah, and you know what? To his defense, it was our fault that he didn't show up today. It was a miscommunication with the timing, and so it's my fault. I apologize, everyone. But as we're talking about this, I want to show. This is a picture of the new flat rate menu pricing system, and it's all about. This is why we're here today. We're here talking. This isn't any kind of a sales pitch or anything. We're talking about. I can't help it. I always want to talk about, especially with you, Matthew, and everybody here. If you want to talk about it, is maximizing the opportunities in the home. And so, I was told a statistic earlier today that really surprised me, and that was Google search for home repairs has been down by 64%. And so if less people are looking to spend money in their homes on services and we're not running as many service calls, it is so important that we maximize every opportunity that we do have. And so if we
100%.
only have a few calls today, we want to make sure that we don't pressure the technician because, boy, he doesn't want to feel like a failure if he got a $0 call, right? Instead,
Yeah.
we want to give him an opportunity and a process to be able to be as successful as he can be or she in the field. And so with the new flat rate, we recommend a menu where you can show your homeowner options. They can make the decision that they want. But the reason I pulled this slide up was just to point out on this, as you can see there on the right, the new flat rate menu, the top corner on the right says PP. And so this page has been integrated. The integration is turned on with Optimus. And so that PP button is there so that you can show the homeowner their payment plan. So when they see the menu, they can see, oh, wow, I could choose that silver option for $92. And then their terms are on there of the how many months it's going to be and the percentage rate and things like that. So this is just a great way to plant the seed, to offer the opportunity. And so when we have fewer opportunities in the home, we want to maximize them with as little friction and stress on our team as possible by automating it, by doing it for them so that it's right here. And then again, the homeowner has the power to buy. I'll go ahead and pause there. Did you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, I think one of the important things that you're saying, which is really, really important, and one of the things I think a lot of contractors and dealers struggle with is you have to understand the consumer buying experience and how
Hmm.
consumers are shopping in 2024 and beyond, right? This isn't 1989 anymore. This is 2024. And when you think about your own life, right, I joke about how people live on a monthly payment. I have I pay 7 different providers $7 a month for television, different television subscriptions, right? I've got
Hmm.
Hulu, I've got Netflix, I've got Apple, I've got, you name them, right? Disney Plus. You start going,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
right? But it's a recurring monthly payment. I
Yeah.
would never think that I was going to take a payment for TV, but I do. And I take a
Yeah.
payment for
Oh.
everything, right? I
Hmm.
I grew up, Danielle, this is a good one for you. You'll appreciate this. And I'm not saying you're probably too young for what I'm going to say, so maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. But
Awesome.
I grew up with records. I grew up with records, right? I used to go buy records, and then I had to go to cassette decks. Now I got to go to CDs. Then I had to go
Yeah.
to MP3s. Now I have a $20 monthly payment for music subscription for my family so that we can
Of
listen to
course you do.
music.
Yeah.
I'm paying $20 a month. So if you don't think people are buying and shopping and living their lives on a monthly payment, then you're not in tune with what's really going on and you're not going to be successful. So hitting that PP button where it's going to say what's your payment on this thing is speaking the language that consumers are actually already intuitively kind of geared for.
You're framing this perfectly.
Well,
We
thank you.
want to give them, well, because we want to give them access to the money for the lifestyle they want. And the
Yes,
subscription is now the lifestyle. They do not want to let go of their music subscriptions and
correct,
their TV subscriptions, right? I cannot tell
correct.
you how many times I've said to my husband, do we have to have Netflix and Disney Plus? Could we please cancel one? Right? But no, because
Yeah.
he wants Netflix and the kids want Disney. And so the lifestyle that people are, it's the entertainment, it's the ease, it's the comfort. So they want the lifestyle that they want. And so when it comes to home service, we want to make sure to be included in that conversation of providing them the lifestyle that they want. And hence, we're giving them the access to be able to continue in comfort when they want to do that. Uh,
And,
Makes
and
perfect sense.
it makes perfect sense. And, we might get into this a little bit later at some point, but is there anything more important that a contractor needs to know or needs to, to ace? Is there anything more important they need to ace than having the customer actually make the purchase? Like I sit here and talk all the time. I don't care how good your installation is. I don't care how good your training is for your employees. I don't care how great your marketing is. I don't care about, like, we can go over all these things. If customers don't purchase from you, it's all for naught, right?
Hmm.
I'm a
Hmm.
nonprofit. Nobody else here should be a nonprofit,
Hmm.
right? And but the one thing they spend the least amount of time on is working on how do people purchase from me. And that's what's
Hmm.
amazing. They'll sit there and they'll put the time together for a good, better, best, and this amazing program you've got with the new flat rate, which we recommend to everybody. But if you
Thank you.
don't have a way that's easy and convenient for a consumer to shop the way a consumer shops, you're facing everything else, you're mastering it, but you're failing the final exam, which is, are they actually going to buy from you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's what the payment plans do for you.
Well, it does. And when I add on, and so our contractor friend, that the success story, another one that I'm going to add here, is that they've seen a big uptick in offering the access to cash on repairs as well. And so in the past, historically, we were only able to offer these things on replacements of large ticket opportunities, right? But now being able to do it on repairs, they have seen an uptick of people not only moving up levels, but being able to choose a repair today and doing it on that payment plan.
And I would love to see the statistics, but just like we were talking with everything else, the cost of a repair has gone up. The cost of repair is significant. They're over $1,000 now. Many repairs, I've seen repairs, hitting 1,500 and above. People still don't want to hand $1,500. People are very comfortable taking a period of time to pay that is convenient for your life. And if you have this, and you've got the Band-Aid, and you've got those kind of programs that you've got with a PP on it, you're actually, again, you're matching and you're making it convenient for them to live the life they want by giving them access to money in a very simple way. And that's all it is. All it is.
Yeah. Did you know that the average American spent 54% more this year than they made?
54% more than they made. That's not surprising, but it is, I guess it's kind of shocking, but yet not shocking at the same time. 54%, that tells you that they are taking payments on everything. On everything.
That's right.
They're living. That's the way people live. It's not it used to be the F word, right? That finance word that we're not allowed to say. It used to be for people that don't have money, that doesn't have money.
Right.
That is, those days are long gone. It is for everybody. It's for everybody. Right. Shocked.
Yeah, and whether we like it or not, right? They're spending 54% more than they're making.
Is that reflective of we're not giving people enough salaries and increasing their salaries at the same rate that inflation and everything else is hitting, or is it? Well, I think it's a combination of things, but that's a big number. When you start,
what? You and I could sit here and debate that all day long, but let's bring it back to the audience. I would love to hear from anybody that dares. Go ahead and just throw it in the chat. Why do you think that the average American is spending 54% more? Is it that they are not getting the raises? Is it that the inflation and the economy is actually costing them that much more? Is it that maybe they got used to staying home after COVID and they didn't want to go back as much, I don't know. What do you guys think? I know everybody on here is probably a lot smarter than me. Let's group think this one. would love to hear from y'all. Anybody listening in, why do you think that the average American spent even just year to date thus far, spent 54% more than they've made so far?
That's a crazy number when you start thinking about that.
Anytime now. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Tom Hack. Inflation.
Prices have gone up. Prices have skyrocketed on everything. I mean, we joke about this, Danielle, and I know you experience the same thing. Even taking the kids out, and I know you've got this issue, even take the kids out to name the fast food restaurant of your choice.
Wendy's. We can hardly go to Wendy's for under $40. Well, let's say 50.
$50 for Wendy's.
Yeah.
That's insanity, right?
Yes.
And it's lifestyle inflation. I'm telling you, prices have gone up, but salaries haven't. Salaries go up at 2 or 3%, but the prices of everything have skyrocketed. Inflation and the devaluation of the petrodollar. I love this stuff, Emily. 50 cents in 2018 is 227, right? That is, that's a 500% increase. Yet people's salaries haven't gone up 500% in that same 5 to 7 years. And it's just the reality, right? This has always been the case, but we have become a subscription economy. We have learned that we can have all the services that we want, all the life that we want to live, as long as we're willing to do it on a monthly payment. And we need to understand from the HVAC world, people are living in a house, they're working in a house. Let them have home comfort. Let them have the IQ, because everybody's got allergies. Everybody's got allergies, right? Let them have the IAQ. Let them have the humidification or dehumidification.
Well, now you're hitting on something. So when we can help provide the access to the money so they can have the lifestyle they want, then we also need to be ready to show them the lifestyle that they can really have, which they
Exactly.
do want is more health in the home, right? They want the convenience. They might be able to walk in and say, hey, Google, turn on all my lights.
Right.
My
Right.
1-year-old says, hey, Google, and it drives me crazy. I'm like, if you guys don't turn these lights from blue back to white, and they've changed the names of them. And so you can't say, hey, Google, turn our lights from blue back to white. You have to like call it a specific name that mom never remembers. I despise it. But my point is the life that they want, right? So having the access, they're able to do this. So again, a couple of things that we've mentioned today that have been great points is that this integration, what Optimus is offering when we're offering our customers options is it's been really great for credit challenged customers, for people that need more opportunities and more access. This has been really great for repair as well. Now, more people are using it on replacements, but we've seen a big uptick in repairs, people selecting to use access to cash for repairs. And so that's really good. And then something else that we've learned today so far, we haven't said this one yet, but ADUs, Matthew was telling me that more and more, and you guys would see this out in the field, I know, is more and more homeowners are doing these additional dwelling units because more families are combining together. And part of that is because of the economy right now and costs and just changes and needs in families and the desire for the lifestyles that they want. And so as we're adding on these ADUs, these additional dwelling units, we need the access to be able to do that so that it can be this great healthy environment, whether it's electrical, plumbing, and HVAC.
Right. And you know, as a home improvement contractor in HVAC in particular, it makes sense to make sure you're in line with these general contractors and these people that are building the ADUs, because you put 1,000, 1,200 square foot ADU on your property, one, maybe 2 bedrooms with a small kitchen, a bathroom, full bathroom, right? Because again, we are seeing multi-generational families living together. That's a trend we're going to see. It's everywhere else in the world. It's never been the US, but we're heading in that direction. That's just a reality. They need, that unit's going to need an HVA system, and that unit's going to need IAQ and these other things, because again, they are trying to live the life they want. Question from Mike there, I think.
Yep. So glad that you asked that. Would love to hear some more questions from the audience. So definitely bring them in if you want to know anything specific about the integration, specific about New Flat Rate, specific about Optimus, or if you have experienced these two together this summer, share your stories, good or bad. Let's talk about them now. So Mike, you're asking if the Optimus and New Flat Rate integration will work with House Call Pro, and it does. We're very excited about that. The House Call Pro integration is really important to us. And so it's important that Optimus worked with that too. And so you would see, I'm not sure if I have a picture on the screen of it. I don't, but what I can show is I'll show the video in here in just a second. So the Get Finance button is going to appear on your shopping cart page at the New Flat Rate, and it'll pop up a form for your homeowner to fill out right then and there. And then they'll get the link on their device where they can enter in all of their personal information and go ahead and get financed. It'll send through the amount that you want to. And so the original amount on this silver option, for example, is $4,345. It would send that through. They'd come back and be approved for $5,000, for example. And then you could push the job over to House Call Pro. And so it does work really well. I'll show we have a 3-minute integration video in case anybody hasn't taken the time to watch it. If you don't care, I'll just show it for us real quick. Is that all right?
I love that.
Okay. But before I do, I'd like to get back to Business Uncensored. October 1st through 4th in Chattanooga, Tennessee, we have our annual business conference called Business Uncensored. The reason it is so important for me to bring this up to you is it's all about connectivity. We at the New Flat Rate, we do menu pricing. We don't do business conferences. So why do we even have Business Uncensored? Well, we put it together just because of you guys, for connectivity, for a place for all the New Flat Rate members and other contractors to get shoulder to shoulder and really talk about what's going on in their businesses and to get help from each other. And so people like to get together in a safe space, and that's what Business Uncensored is. It's a very high level business conference. It's not hype. We don't have hundreds and thousands of vendors, and we don't have big name entertainers. We have bit's names there. Matthew, you're there, right?
I am going to be there. We are excited.
See, we have big names.
Yes, yes. I mean, can't get any bigger.
Yeah. So it's really great, but it's all about connectivity. It's all about getting you guys, the like-minded contractors in our industry, together, table to table, to have the time. We've got long breaks. We do 30-minute breaks, none of that 5-minute break stuff, so that we can get up and actually connect with people. So I wanted to put a plug in there. If you haven't gotten your seat yet, the hotel room block closes next week. And so go to tnfrevents.com to get your ticket and get your hotel.
And Danielle, I want to jump in here. I've been to this for 3 straight years now, and we are investing more and more into this event because it is such an amazing event, right? It's very similar to Epic, so I don't need to talk about our event, but it is the same thing. It is so good to be in an event that isn't just so big and you're walking down aisles, just picking up tchotchkes. This is an event where you're talking and communicating and finding out what other people are doing well, what other people are learning. And it's great swapping of minds, ideas, great event. I love those kind of events, and you have built a fantastic one. So I do hope everybody here signs up for it, because I love to see you, because it is a great, great event.
Thank you for that. And your event, Epic, we will be promoting that in the spring.
Yeah,
So this
exactly.
fall, come
We'll
to
get
Visit
to that.
Uncensored. Don't worry. I want you to go to Epic too in the spring. So let's watch this video.
Welcome to another new flat rate tutorial. In this video, you'll discover how to quickly offer financing options to your customers in the new flat rate app. Now let's get started. After connecting Optimus Financing with the new flat rate, tap the refresh icon on the top of the TNFR app to sync the integration. Next, select your module. Choose the index in which you are working, then select the task you feel is best for the job. Review and add to your cart. Now, name your menu for presenting and then select the appropriate call type. Go to your cart in the top right-hand corner, then select your menu to present. Tap the SA button to rotate from the normal menu to your service agreement discount prices, and then tap again to the PP payment plan to show your Optimus financing options. Now present the menu to your customer like normal. When your customer chooses the level they want, go back to your cart and tap the blue Get Financed button at the top. Now it's time for your customer to apply for financing. You or your customer can fill in the blanks and select the green Get Pre-Qualified button. At this time, your customer will receive an email, and when they open it, have them click the Accept Invite button. Complete the pre-qualification information needed, then select Find My Lender. After a few moments, your customer will get a notification of their pre-qualified approval or denial. If approved, your customer will select Apply Now. They will complete the full application and submit to review information. After a few moments, your customer will receive an email notification of approval. The customer will then open the approval email. They will then select My Financing options. Enter the amount they would like to finance. Choose the terms they'd like to finance and click Confirm Selection. Then click Sign Contract to assign all the areas needed for agreement, and then click Finish. Once your customer is approved, your app will automatically update with the approval number on the TNFR invoice. If you use Service Titan or House Call Pro, then the approval number will not appear. In this case, you would contact your office to get the approval number from your Optimus dashboard. Once approved, you may proceed to Send to House Call Pro or Send to Service Titan as normal, and then select the financed payment method. Now you're ready to begin offering financing through Optimus in your new flat rate app. If you have any questions, our team is here to help. Thanks for watching.
Love it. The video is actually longer than it takes to actually get an approval and get things signed.
Awesome. So that showed on there how the integration works, how you can send it through. And a point that I want to make sure and make is that this is all about taking off the pressure points for your technician out in the field. So now they can actually work with the homeowner to get them financed right then and there, so that we can walk away with a closed deal. So we don't have a bunch of estimates that we have to follow up on. That's really the idea, is making it easier in the field for them to do that. Yes, Mike, we'd love to send you that video.
And one thing I want to call out that I think we need to frame a little bit is that yes, there are a lot of contractors out there who have a prime lender, right? And I'm here to tell you, I can't believe I'm going to say how long I've been doing this. Let's just say since the 1900s. How's that, right? Since the 1900s, I've been doing this. And every single lender, I've worked for them all and I've worked with them all. There is no difference between GoodLeap and GreenSky and Synchrony and Wells Fargo and Interbank. Start naming your prime lender. They all do the exact same thing. The pricing is very similar, but they only approve somewhere between 68 to 70% of all the customers that will actually apply. And it's actually squeaked down with the economy. With the only levers a bank can use are adjust their underwriting or raise their rates. So they've raised their rates about as much as people can tolerate. So now they're underwriting a little bit less. The thing that new flat rate is bringing with Optimus is those other 30% that none of those lenders service. There's a reason it's money for all. You have access to a solution for everybody, and that makes a huge difference. You're not just, well, if you have good credit, we can get you approved, but if you don't have to worry about it. So I think that's something you really want to call out when it comes to having this program, is not only you presenting them options, but you're virtually never going to get a no. I think we're delivering over 94% approvals. 94% of the time, you're going to get yes.
Yeah. Wow, it's powerful. And then all of a sudden we're giving them options so then they can buy the level of service that they want. So we're giving them the access to buy and the ways to buy. And so again, we're just trying to make it simpler in the field, simpler for your business. Let's take off some pressure points. There's already enough on business owners and technicians anyway. Yep. So before we close today, what else can we answer? Anything or any stories, anybody on here using the integration or using Optimus or the new flat rate, any stories that you want to share? What's working good, what's not? Or anything that we can answer.
Any questions about the economy or what you think changes are? Are rates going up or rates going down? Hint, we're expecting them to start going down a little bit. It won't be reflected.
Well, they did a little bit. We're at 6% here, right?
Right. And we expect them to go a little bit down. The home improvement channel always is a little bit behind it. So it's going to take 2 or 3 months before you start being reflective in your dealer fees, but we do expect them going down. Any other questions? Any other comments? You could just tell me how great I look or how great Danielle, which is more real, how great Danielle looks. Whatever, just put a comment out there. Let us know what we're doing. What we've seen, thank you. What we have seen is an increase in overall financing. What we're seeing is that contractors, the successful contractors are now and I hate to use the F word, they tricked me into that. Contractors are now using upwards of 85% of the time. But what we're seeing is a larger mix, to your point, Danielle, we're seeing a larger mix where their average tickets on retrofits are now skyrocketing to almost 14,000, 15,000. But we're also seeing a mix of $1,500, $2,000, $1,000 tickets because people are now making that payment solutions on repairs as well. Right. So it's not just, well, if you're going to buy a new system, I've got this for you. But if you're going to repair, then you're going to just have to pay me. People are actually doing it. So we're seeing more activity, but it's more varied. It's not just for retrofits. It's between retrofits and repairs.
How quickly do you guys pay contractors?
The moment you hit fund me, a text goes to the consumer that says, hey, your contractor wants to get paid. Are you okay with this? Or some version of that. Although that's exactly what it should be. Some version of that. As soon as they type the word YES, that payment gets processed. Depending upon where it is in the day, it's the end of that day or it's the very next morning. But within 24 hours, ACH, it's already in your account.
Hang on. I didn't mean to show that video on. I'm trying to get to my next slide for you guys. So hang on. As I interrupted your question and lost you. Where'd you go?
Are people purchasing lower options in TNFR menus since the economy sucks right now? That's a real good question. I'd have to lean on Danielle to see whether you're seeing a big movement towards the lower tickets. What we're seeing across the industry is not them going to the lower end. If they're going to spend $14,000 or $13,10 for the low end anyway, spending $16 for a better system is all the same because they're not just going to stroke that little check. So no, we're not seeing, at least from a retrofit standpoint, across our business, we're not seeing them go to the lower tier. We're seeing them stay to the higher end because they are taking a monthly payments. So actually, the dichotomy of the economy sucking and all those other things is because they're taking payments, they're actually selecting significantly better equipment, more energy efficient equipment, because they can save on the back end by getting more energy efficient and lowering their electric bill.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd love to hear from anybody else on the call today. What are you seeing? Are people spending, taking lower repairs and lower replacements, or have those stayed consistent?
Waiting for people to chime in here. Silence. Silence. If this was radio, it would be bad. Silence is bad.
That's all right. You got any jokes? I've got one.
You got one, fire away.
Wait, but I'll spare you because Tom says, if they can wait and do nothing, they do lack of demand. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, Tom, that's a valid point. Everybody stayed at home in 2020, 2021, and that was new. And everybody, again, life was good for an HVAC contractor for the past 3 years because everybody was staying at home and they were upgrading. There is a point where maybe there's not as many. And the other thing to keep in mind is that there's a kind of alliance that goes on with the new home market. So when new homes are built 10, 15 years later, that's a natural, hey, here's a bunch of homes, a bunch of homeowners that are going to need to upgrade from their builder grade unit. But if you think about what happened in 08 and 09, new housing was flat or down. So we're not seeing the same generation that we have before of new homes that need to be upgraded. So there's a bunch of different elements that are factoring it in.
We got a comment to the panelists. Thank you, Coach. He says, we have not seen a downturn in higher efficiency systems.
Yeah.
That's
and
what we were
again,
thinking too.
if you're taking a monthly payment, regardless of whether you're using a low system or a high system, right? If it's going to be 10,000, you're taking $100 monthly payment. I'd rather take 140 monthly payment and get the energy efficient system that's going to save on some of my electric bill. So that is exactly the trend we do want to see. So that's a great thing to hear.
Adam, thanks. I monitor the TNFR tech support line, and when techs follow up with me on jobs, they are selling. Customers are selecting higher options to repair something as to not necessarily do a full replacement at that present moment. I've seen that too a lot. Thank you, Adam, for sharing that. And so when given options, customers are buying more on the repair end and waiting on the replacement side.
And that's fine too, because you've got a solution for it. But thank you. I'd love to have that data. Adam, I appreciate you that, because that's the kind of thing we do need to be able to factor in as we continue to build this out. So thank you.
Lots of silver and gold versus Band-Aid and bronze, which is fantastic. That's what we love to see right now. So this is good for the contractor. It's maximizing the opportunity in the home. If we can only run so many calls because there's not as much demand right now, we got to make sure to maximize that opportunity and serve the customer at the same time, so we can all feel like we're really doing what we set out to do.
100%.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, thanks so much, guys, for jumping on today. Love that you spent some time. I know you've all got businesses to run and things to do. So thank you for spending some time with us. If you need anything, please reach out. Here's some QR codes. If you don't use Optimus, definitely check it out. If you don't use the new flat rate, check it out. We did a free trial only for Optimus customers. This is our first time offering it. I think that it's, thought I had a page for it, maybe right here. And so if it's something, if you are an Optimus friend that's on here with us today and you've never used the new flat rate, you can use that QR code there to try a 2-week free trial. And then you could actually start offering the access to cash through the menu.
Yes, there you go. Money
system.
for all. Money. We're actually considering changing our tagline, because we don't want it to be seen as finance. It is money for all, so they can live the life they need to live. That's really, truly what it is.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's smart. Thank you so much, Tom, for joining us today. Thank you so much, everybody else. Really appreciate you spending some time with us. Let us know if we can do anything for you. And I hope to see you at Business Uncensored.
Look forward to seeing you. Thank you for having me. Great questions, everybody. If there's any question, you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks for having me, Danielle. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, Matthew. Always a pleasure to have you. Great to hear from you. I love your perspective on everything. And you really have your pulse on what's going on with contractors and the economy and the market. So thanks for sharing.
Anytime.